Oregon football just got a massive gift. Let's talk about it. My name's Paul, together with my buddy Aaron. We are the Big Ten guys. Tune in every day for the latest news, insights, analysis. Whatever it is, Big Ten football, we got it right here for you. So don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Got a lot more Oregon and Big Ten content coming. So, Oregon, let's be frank, they don't really need any gifts right now. They're just pummeled Montana State. They're a top 10 team in the country. They got an incredible recruiting class. They don't need anything handed to them. They can take care of themselves. But regardless of that, they were still just handed a massive gift courtesy of our guy, Mike Gundy. So I'm sure many of you have heard this story. I'm going to talk about why I really think it will play a big role in the game this weekend, so stick around for that. But just for those of you who haven't seen, I'll catch you up on it. Mike Gundy came out, said Oregon is paying a lot of money for their team. From a non-conference standpoint, there's coaches saying they should play teams with similar budgets. So comparatively, it says, I think Gundy speculated that Oregon spent about $40 million on their players a season ago, while the Cowboys had spent only $7 million over the past 3 seasons. So first off, boo-hoo to you, Mike Gundy. It is what it is. Not a lot of huge boosters at Oklahoma State. I don't think Oregon's going to be crying that they have Phil Kite and they have money. You'd rather be the ones that have money that don't. And I loved Dan Lanning's response to it. He's, first off, he came out and said, I got a ton of respect for Coach Gundy. So he took the high road. Said, ultimately, we're blessed. I'm blessed that I'm at a place that's invested in winning. If you want to be a top 10 team in college football, you better be invested in winning, and we spend to win. Some people save to have an excuse for why they don't. And ultimately, he's a great coach, done a great job, but I want to be a team that's competing at the highest level, and we're fortunate to be in that situation. And he's exactly right. Dan Lanning and Oregon didn't create what the college football market is. They didn't push for NIL. I mean, maybe they did, but none of the current landscape of college football is Oregon's doing. They're just the ones who, as well as many other schools, have figured out how to win in this era, how to get the best players in this era, and they don't need to apologize to anybody. And I loved the last thing he mentioned about it when he said, I can't speak on their situation. I have no idea what they have in their pockets over there, but I'm sure UT Martin maybe didn't have as much as them last week, and they played, so we'll let it play out. I love that. What are you doing, Mike Gundy, after playing UT Martin, complaining that Oregon shouldn't be playing a school like you? For what? What does that say about your own program that you... to me, Oklahoma State is a team, I've seen them be top 10 competing for the Big 12. They should welcome the chance to play in Oregon and prove they belong. But he's over here talking like he's the UT Martin, and they're the big bad Oregon who's going to just pummel them and make them look like a fool. It's a terrible look for Mike Gundy. Maybe the worst look he's had since he did the whole "I'm a man, I'm 40" thing, which, he was defending his player, but it was a funny interview. But I think it just tells you a lot about what's going to happen this weekend. And not only that, but if you look at what Vegas thinks of the game, they are with Mike Gundy in the fact that Oklahoma State really doesn't belong on the same field as them. So Oregon is a 27.5 point favorite, which is pretty crazy for 2 Power 4 schools playing against each other. And especially a school, I feel like Oklahoma State, they didn't have their best year last year. Some people, I did a video last week where I mentioned, some people think Oklahoma State could finish the year as a ranked team. Like, there are people who think they are talented enough to be that. So, like, a 27.5 point favorite over a school like who's the caliber of Oklahoma State is impressive and tells you just how high Vegas is on Oregon. So, Oregon fans, I think you should be hyped about that. And, like, I'm a Michigan fan. I don't even, I don't dislike Oregon, but, like, I'm not sitting here from a biased perspective just trying to toot Oregon's horn. Like, as a Michigan fan, that's a pretty crazy spread, and you should be pumped as Oregon fans. And then I think another big takeaway from this weekend is, like, we all know Dante Moore balled out. Like, whatever, it was Montana State. You can't get too excited. But you saw a big shift in Vegas in his Heisman odds. So last week, he was 11th on FanDuel at plus 2,500 odds. Coming into this week, he is at plus 1,700. So basically what that's saying is last week, if you bet $100 to win on him, you would win. If you bet $100 on him to win the Heisman, you'd win 2,500. Now it's only 1,700. Somehow he's still behind Arch Manning. Like, I don't know if Vegas watched the same game I did, but Arch Manning, Aaron and I have, if you've seen any of our videos talking about the Ohio State-Texas game from months ago, have said we didn't think Arch Manning would be that good, and he honestly looked worse than either of us expected. But, like, if he was as talented as people say, he wouldn't have sat for that many years behind Quinn Ewers. But yeah, we'll see. Vegas super impressed with Oregon week 1, and I don't know why they wouldn't be. Just, looking at that game, Dante Moore was, not only 213 yards, but obviously they didn't need to be slinging it, especially in the second half, but super efficient, protected the ball, got it into his playmakers' hands. They ran the ball easily, and then you look at Oklahoma State, and just, like, yeah, they won by 20 points against UT Martin, but, like, they didn't even average, like, their starting running back didn't even average 3 yards per carry. So, like, if you can't average 3 yards per carry on UT Martin, like, I hate to see what Oregon and their significantly better defense is going to do to Oklahoma State. And obviously Vegas feels the same way. 27.5 point favorites, just wild for two Power 4 schools who are especially one who's historically as good as Oklahoma State. But Oregon fans, let me know what you think in the comments. Give me all your thoughts from week 1. Give me your thoughts on Mike Gundy, Dan Lanning, the landscape of college football. And like I said before, like, Oregon never needs to apologize for having money. Like, they didn't make the rules. They didn't create the NIL era. They just are one of the teams who's doing well. And honestly, they were doing really well before the NIL era. Like, I don't know why Mike Gundy felt the need to throw shade, but if I'm Oregon, I take that as a compliment. Like, a Power 4 team as good as Oklahoma State has been historically is coming in here acting like they're Montana State going against Oregon. That is how talented and deep and impressive this Oregon football team has become. So, good luck, Duck fans, this weekend. I'm excited for another weekend of college football. And then just don't forget, hit the like and subscribe button on your way out. Lots more Oregon and Big Ten content coming.